Narrator, August, 1946. Admiral Richard Byrd, a highly respected U.S. naval officer and explorer, was no stranger to adventure. He was one of the first pilots to fly over both the North and South Poles. Now, after World War II, Byrd was tasked with leading Operation Highjump, the largest expedition ever sent to Antarctica. This massive mission involved 13 ships, 23 aircraft, and over 4,700 military personnel. The plan was straightforward: spend 4 months down in the icy continent, starting in December and continuing through January, February, and March. The goals were mostly military: scouting for potential base sites and asserting American presence in the region. But by late February, something unexpected happened. One official goal of the mission was to investigate sites for military bases in Antarctica, but as Byrd explored further, he reportedly stumbled on something extraordinary, something not mentioned in his official reports, but allegedly recorded in his personal diaries. These were never published, and later supposedly suppressed by government authorities who found the information too unsettling. In these diaries, which were discovered posthumously by his son, Byrd told a remarkable story. He heard rumors of an entrance to the center of the Earth, accessible through the South Pole. So, he flew aircraft under the ice at the pole, and what he saw defied all logic. As he flew over the pole, suddenly the landscape changed, from frozen wasteland to a surprisingly temperate green environment. His squadron flew into the Earth itself, and what they found was a lush, thriving area unlike anything they'd imagined. But that was just the beginning. Byrd described seeing a shimmering city made of crystal, glowing with a rainbow of colors. Then something even stranger occurred. His plane was suddenly taken over by mysterious forces. Around them appeared flying disc-shaped objects, which guided them down to the ground. There, Byrd was led into vast caverns, where he met a figure he called the Master. This Master expressed deep disappointment with humanity, particularly the destructive power unleashed through nuclear weapons. Byrd was told that the devastating bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki had alarmed these beings. They warned of grave consequences if mankind did not change its course. For those who study UFOs, Byrd's diary is especially intriguing. The modern UFO era kicked off right after World War II and the atomic bomb's debut. Curiously, many UFO sightings have been reported near nuclear missile silos, suggesting a link between extraterrestrials and humanity's use of nuclear power. Byrd's tale aligns with other reports of angelic or extraterrestrial beings deeply concerned about nuclear weapons and the future of Earth. U.S. Air Force officers manning missile silos have shared stories of mysterious forces disabling their weapons, presumably to prevent catastrophe. If Byrd's secret diary is genuine, it reveals not only advanced beings living inside the Earth, but also their monitoring of surface activity. Yet, after his encounter, Byrd was silenced. Upon returning, he was taken to a government facility and told never to speak publicly about what he had seen. Everything was classified. Could Byrd's story hint at a profound connection, linking ancient myths of strange inner-Earth beings with today's UFO phenomena? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes. They believe we may soon face those who live within the Earth. Antarctica is a place of extremes. Almost 98% of its land is buried under ice sheets that reach up to 3 miles thick. Even a mountain as tall as Mount Fuji, which rises 12,400 feet, wouldn't break the ice's surface. Temperatures regularly drop below -50 degrees Fahrenheit, and fierce winds howl at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour. During peak season, only about 4,000 scientists and military personnel inhabit this harsh continent. But Antarctica captures the imagination. It is the planet's final frontier. Old maps warned explorers, "Here be monsters. If any place on Earth deserves such a label, it might just be Antarctica." Despite being discovered nearly 250 years ago, Antarctica remains one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Its thick ice sheets hide the landscape beneath, keeping the surface invisible to the naked eye. Ancient astronaut theorists argue the mysteries run deeper, suggesting that not only the geology, but also human and possibly non-human activity is hidden beneath the ice. There is a strong sense that something unusual is happening in Antarctica. Some speculate it could be an alien base, perhaps hidden there for centuries or even millennia. Rumors of extraterrestrial activity in Antarctica have circulated for decades. And if these stories are true, could such alien presence have been there for thousands of years? In 2018, investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe interviewed a whistleblower who claimed to have classified information about Antarctica. The source, a retired Navy SEAL she calls Spartan 1, described an ancient octagonal structure he allegedly visited during a mission. Spartan 1 explained that during an unofficial reconnaissance mission to Antarctica's southeast coast in August 2003, his team encountered a massive octagonal building protruding from the ice. The structure was largely buried, with only about 18 feet visible above the surface. Each of the doors they encountered was astonishingly thick, between 18 to 30 feet, but remarkably easy to open, requiring only a single finger's push, despite their massive size. Outside, temperatures were at least 40 degrees below zero. Inside, the temperature was surprisingly comfortable, about 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. The interior was illuminated by a strange lime-green light, though no visible light source was found. The walls were covered with mysterious hieroglyphics unlike any known ancient language. Could there really be such mysterious structures buried beneath the South Pole? Some believe these might be remnants of an advanced extraterrestrial civilization from Earth's distant past. Buried beneath Antarctica's ice might lie stone temples, biological remains, and artifacts that could rewrite human history. The Bible's book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 9, tells the story of Noah and the Great Flood, a deluge sent by God to cleanse the earth of sinners and start anew. Variations of this flood story appear across nearly every ancient culture. Sacred texts dating back 5,000 years describe a great antediluvian civilization wiped out by a flood, with survivors who carried on. The Mesopotamians told this tale in the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Egyptians recorded it in the Edfu creation texts. Even Plato wrote about a lost continent called Atlantis, a civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. Plato's Atlantis appears in two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BC. Scholars have debated for centuries whether Atlantis was myth or reality. Some argue that remnants of this pre-Diluvian civilization could lie beneath the South Pole. Michael Salla, a researcher in the field of ancient aliens, suggests that roughly 13,000 years ago, a flourishing extraterrestrial colony existed in Antarctica before being flash-frozen by a cataclysmic event. Plato's descriptions of Atlantis's last days support this idea, portraying a civilization that may have originated in space, established a colony on Earth, and was buried under ice after a pole shift. Scientific anomalies, radar images, satellite photos, and eyewitness testimonies have all contributed pieces to this puzzling mystery. Could we be on the verge of finally unlocking Antarctica's secrets? Modern whistleblowers insist the truth about Antarctica is far bigger than the public knows. They claim entire bases and civilizations exist beneath the ice, with governments cooperating with alien visitors. Michael Salla believes governments are aware of buried artifacts, ancient civilizations, and active extraterrestrial colonies currently operating beneath the continent. David Childress, an author and researcher, points out that Antarctica is an ideal place for an alien home base, isolated, largely uninhabited until recently, and almost impossible to access without government approval. Back in August 1946, Operation Highjump set sail for the South Pole under Admiral Byrd's leadership. Byrd was a highly decorated naval officer, a graduate of the United States Naval Academy, a World War I veteran, and an accomplished explorer. In 1926, Byrd and Navy pilot Floyd Bennett made history as the first people to fly over the North Pole, earning both men the Congressional Medal of Honor. Later, Byrd became the youngest admiral in U.S. Navy history after his solo flight over the South Pole. Operation Highjump was the largest Antarctic expedition to date: 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and 4,700 troops. The U.S. Navy deployed a powerful flotilla under Byrd's command, staying in Antarctica for about 9 months. But reports from that mission suggest they may have faced unexpected battles, possibly against remnants of Nazi forces or even extraterrestrials. There are stories of strange craft emerging from the ocean to attack the fleet, and flying saucers reportedly inflicted a serious defeat on the operation. In a 1947 report, Byrd mentioned the discovery of a new enemy capable of instantaneous travel from pole to pole. Decades later, in 2018, a satellite image appeared showing a contrail, a condensed water vapor trail extending from the North Pole to the South Pole, spanning 12,000 miles. This trail could only have been made by an object moving at extraordinary speeds. Most contrails last less than 15 minutes, but this one extended the entire length of the planet and persisted for about 30 minutes. Only a craft traveling faster than Mach 10, more than 70,000 miles per hour, or 10 times faster than the fastest known aircraft, could leave such a trail. Michael Bradbury, an expert on the image, noted this craft was likely something never seen before, moving faster than any human-made vehicle. Today, satellite technology lets anyone with internet access view images of Antarctica. In 2016, a striking satellite photo showed what looked like a large man-made entrance carved into a mountain range, an intelligently designed opening perfectly sized for a specific kind of craft. 2 years later, coordinates were released showing what some researchers claimed was a UFO crash site on South Georgia Island near Antarctica. The photos showed clear skid marks on the ice, suggesting a craft had skidded a long distance after impact. Some ancient astronaut theorists say the shape of the crashed craft resembles Oumuamua, a mysterious interstellar object detected entering our solar system in 2017. Oumuamua's unusual shape and acceleration led Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb to suggest it might be an alien probe. The crashed object near Antarctica appears to be about 50 yards long, oblong and tubular in shape. Its trajectory and the visible damage around the crash site point to a high-speed impact followed by a long skid. Could this be the remains of an extraterrestrial spacecraft? Claims of underground bases in Antarctica are widespread. Certain satellite photos show mountain areas with unusual caverns, even windows shaped like flying saucers. Is it possible secret alien bases are hidden beneath the Antarctic ice? McMurdo Station on Ross Island is the continent's largest research station, housing up to 1,200 people during peak seasons. It was established by the U.S. government in 1956. In January 2015, a retired U.S. Navy flight engineer who served with Antarctic Development Squadron for 14 years came forward with strange accounts from his time there. Known only as Brian, the engineer described how, during missions in the Transantarctic Mountains, the crew repeatedly witnessed groups of silver, darting, round objects behaving oddly. They would fly to a particular peak in groups, hover briefly, and then suddenly take off. This happened multiple times. During another mission, Brian's team was tasked with a medical emergency that required flying through a no-fly zone. As they did, they spotted a massive cave entrance in the ice, slanted and estimated to be at least 200 feet in diameter. Strangely, their instruments malfunctioned near the hole, with electrical and magnetic anomalies detected, they concluded something about the hole was causing these issues. After completing their mission, the team was reprimanded by men in suits who appeared to be from Washington, D.C. They were ordered never to fly over the hole again or speak about it. What was this hole, and how does it connect to all the other strange phenomena reported in Antarctica? Ancient astronaut theorists believe this isn't the first time a massive hole has been spotted in Antarctica. Admiral Byrd himself allegedly reported seeing a huge opening at the South Pole that led deep into the Earth, an ice-free cavern inhabited by various alien beings. Upon his return, Byrd was reportedly heavily questioned and told to stop speaking publicly about these claims. Could the South Pole be a crucial extraterrestrial entry point? A portal so important it requires tight military control? While the idea of pyramids existing in Antarctica might sound unbelievable, archaeologists have recently uncovered lost pyramids worldwide, in places once thought natural or unremarkable. Pyramids have been found in northern Peru, hidden under debris in Indonesia, and even one possibly exists in Los Angeles. Pyramids appear globally, suggesting a shared origin or purpose. Some researchers now consider the possibility that Antarctica once supported habitation, perhaps a lost civilization, or even ancient astronauts. If the massive pyramid reportedly discovered near Antarctica's Shackleton mountain range is genuine, it could be the oldest pyramid on Earth, potentially the original model for all others worldwide. Extensive research shows pyramids may not just be tombs or monuments, but powerful energy generators. If pyramids around the globe are strategically placed to create a standing wave of energy, this could represent a wireless global power grid. Ancient advanced civilizations, possibly extraterrestrial, might have used this system for navigation, communication, and maintaining presence on Earth. If such a worldwide energy network existed, Antarctica would likely contain pyramids as well. Pyramids aren't random structures. They exist worldwide, raising questions about their origin and purpose. Did they originate on Antarctica? Joseph White claims to have discovered a pyramid near Shackleton Mountain Range, along with other pyramid-shaped formations recently photographed in Antarctica. If confirmed, this would provide strong evidence for extraterrestrial visitation in Earth's remote past. But how could these structures survive beneath ice that's been present for over 12 million years? Ancient astronaut theorists argue Antarctica wasn't always frozen. Proof lies in a 500-year-old map showing the continent ice-free. Let's talk about East Antarctica. In October 2015, NASA scientists made a surprising announcement. Despite years of believing Antarctica's ice was melting overall, they found that in the eastern part of the continent, ice was actually growing. It was adding about 82 billion tons of ice per year. That's an astonishing amount of snowfall accumulating and extending the ice sheet. But at the same time, glaciers along the western edge of Antarctica are melting rapidly. Since 2009, it's estimated that as much as 60 cubic kilometers of ice, roughly the volume of 70,000 Empire State Buildings, has been disappearing into the ocean every year. So why is the ice melting in some places but growing in others? Scientists are still trying to figure this out. Some researchers have even suggested a fascinating possibility. What if there are underground cities beneath the ice, maintained or powered by extraterrestrial technology? The heat from these hidden bases could explain localized melting of the ice above. If there really are ancient civilizations buried under miles of ice, they must have existed before the last ice age. That means their secrets could be locked away beneath the frozen surface for tens of thousands of years. Who knows what we might find beneath the ice? Remnants of lost civilizations, advanced technologies, maybe even artifacts that could help us better understand our own history or save our future. David Wilcock, a well-known theorist, says we could reach a tipping point where these secrets can no longer be hidden. Gigantic pyramids and obelisks might start to emerge from the ice, revealing what's been concealed for millennia. Once that happens, the cover-up will be over. Richard D. Norrie, a longtime host on paranormal topics, agrees. He says the possibility of extraterrestrial craft in cities hidden under Antarctic ice will shock the world's belief systems, changing everything we think we know. So what really lies beneath Antarctica's ice and snow? Was this frozen wasteland once a lush green land filled with pyramids older than those in Egypt? If extraterrestrials did live there in the distant past, could they still be hiding there today? Now shifting continents, let's head to Edfu, Egypt, a place of great importance for understanding ancient beliefs about the world's creation. The Temple of Edfu is one of the largest and best-preserved temples from ancient Egypt, dating back to 237 BC. Walking through it is like stepping into a giant history book, with every wall, column, and chamber covered in texts. These texts, known as the Edfu texts, describe the creation of the world in extraordinary detail. According to the Edfu texts, the earth was created by powerful gods who descended from the sky. They established what they called the Island of the Egg, an island in the middle of an eternal lake, where creation began. The occupants of this primordial mythical world were strange beings. The texts mention three distinct groups: the sages, the builders, and the Shebtu, mysterious people said to have emerged from the water. The ancient Egyptians believed these creator gods built the first temples there, temples which served as blueprints for every temple across Egypt. Once the gods completed their work, they would meet with their big bird, a symbol of divine ascension, and return to the sky. The Egyptians took these stories very seriously. For them, every word inscribed on the temple walls was absolutely true. Interestingly, not all of these gods left the island. After many generations, the island suffered a terrible fate. The texts describe a time of darkness, floods, and war. The armies of these gods were led by a falcon god who battled a great enemy, represented as a giant snake. This enemy was called the Great Leaping One, and its sudden appearance brought darkness and destruction. Some researchers believe this enemy snake represents a comet or celestial object that entered the inner solar system, breaking apart and causing widespread devastation. Could this story be a mythologized account of a real cosmic catastrophe? Or was it a deliberate attack targeting an otherworldly civilization on what we now call Antarctica? Plato's Atlantis tale also tells of a civilization destroyed by floods and natural disasters, buried beneath the sea or ice. Might these ancient myths and texts be connected? Could the lost civilization of Atlantis have been a real place, possibly located in Antarctica before a pole shift buried it under ice? As we explore these mysteries, the evidence from ancient texts, modern science, satellite imagery, and eyewitness testimony begins to form a larger picture. One that suggests Antarctica is not just a frozen wasteland, but possibly a secret hub of ancient knowledge, lost civilizations, and ongoing extraterrestrial activity. Now, let's dig deeper into the mysteries of Antarctica through the eyes of those who have been there and those who have uncovered clues hidden beneath the ice. One of the most compelling accounts comes from whistleblowers and military personnel who have witnessed strange phenomena firsthand. Take the story of Brian, a retired U.S. Navy flight engineer who spent 14 years flying missions over Antarctica with the Antarctic Development Squadron. From 1983 to 1997, Brian participated in many operations, and at first, nothing out of the ordinary happened. Then, things changed. During a squadron mission over the Transantarctic Mountains, the entire crew noticed a group of silver-darting round objects flying in formation. Brian describes how these crafts would repeatedly fly toward a specific mountain peak, hover there briefly, and then suddenly take off. This strange behavior happened multiple times, sparking curiosity and unease among the crew. Later, Brian's team received an urgent medical evacuation order. To save time, they flew through a restricted no-fly zone, and that's when they spotted something astonishing. a massive entrance carved into the ice, sloping downward and at least 200 feet in diameter. As they approached the hole, strange things began to happen. Their instruments malfunctioned, electricity failed, and magnetic anomalies were detected. The team concluded that something about this enormous ice cave was interfering with their equipment. After completing the medical mission, Brian and his crew were harshly reprimanded by unidentified men in suits, apparently government officials from Washington, D.C. They were ordered never to fly over the mysterious hole again and never to speak about it. What was this enormous ice cavern, and why the secrecy? Was it connected to the strange aerial phenomena the crew had witnessed? Could it be one of the entrances to a hidden underground world? These accounts recall stories from decades earlier when Admiral Richard Byrd allegedly described a similar opening at the South Pole leading deep into the Earth's interior. Byrd reportedly claimed this was an ice-free zone inhabited by alien beings, and he was silenced upon his return to the United States. If true, these stories suggest the South Pole is a highly controlled, secret extraterrestrial gateway or portal, a place of immense strategic and cosmic importance. As strange as it sounds, Antarctica may be the key to understanding the connection between ancient civilizations, extraterrestrial visitation, and today's unexplained aerial phenomena. Let's consider the archaeological evidence now. Across the world, pyramids have been discovered in surprising places, some hidden beneath dirt and rubble for centuries, mistaken for natural formations. We found pyramids in northern Peru, buried in Indonesia, and even one rumored to exist in Los Angeles. Given this global distribution, it's worth asking, could there be pyramids in Antarctica as well? Joseph White, a researcher, claims to have discovered a pyramid near Antarctica's Shackleton Mountain Range. Satellite photos also show pyramid-shaped formations on the continent. If these structures are real, they might be the oldest pyramids on Earth, potentially the master pyramid that inspired all others worldwide. Why pyramids? There is a fascinating theory that pyramids are not merely tombs or monuments, but actually power generators. Some researchers believe pyramids generate a standing wave of energy, essentially a wireless transmission of power across the planet. If such a pyramid energy grid exists, extraterrestrial or advanced ancient civilizations could have used it to navigate, communicate, and maintain their presence on Earth. In this context, Antarctica's pyramids would play a crucial role in a global system of energy and knowledge. The pyramids' worldwide presence is no coincidence. Their origins may trace back to Antarctica or some other lost cradle of civilization. Could the earliest monuments of humanity have been built in Antarctica before it became a frozen desert? But how could these pyramids and structures survive under ice for millions of years? Ancient astronaut theorists propose Antarctica wasn't always frozen. Supporting this, a 500-year-old map shows Antarctica without ice, a bold hint that the continent may have once been temperate and inhabited. Meanwhile, NASA data from 2015 reveals that while some parts of Antarctica lose ice, others gain it. This paradox could relate to the presence of underground activity, perhaps cities or bases generating heat beneath the ice, affecting melting patterns. As this mysterious continent slowly reveals its secrets, the puzzle pieces suggest Antarctica may hold keys to our ancient past, extraterrestrial presence, and even the future of humanity. Now, let's step back and consider the significance of the ancient myths, the strange sightings, and the modern-day evidence all coming together around Antarctica. One of the most fascinating links is the idea that Antarctica was once home to a thriving advanced civilization, one that might have originated from beyond our planet. This idea connects with ancient flood myths found around the world, like the story of Noah's Ark in the Bible's book of Genesis. Almost every ancient culture has a version of a great flood, an event that wiped out a civilization and forced survivors to start anew. These stories aren't just random fairy tales. Many scholars believe they preserve memories of real, catastrophic events that shaped human history. In Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh tells of a great flood and a hero who survives it. The Egyptians have the Edfu creation texts, which describe gods who came down from the sky and built the first temples on a mystical island. Plato wrote about Atlantis, a lost continent that sank beneath the sea. Michael Salla, an expert in ancient extraterrestrial civilizations, believes Antarctica was once the site of such a colony. About 13,000 years ago, a spacefaring civilization may have established a base there. Then, a cataclysmic pole shift flash froze the continent, burying their civilization under miles of ice. Plato's dialogues describe Atlantis as an extraterrestrial colony wiped out by disaster and buried under ice, which aligns strikingly with the theory of an ancient civilization in Antarctica. What if these myths, legends, and scientific mysteries aren't separate stories, but pieces of the same puzzle? What if Antarctica holds the remains of a lost world, one inhabited by ancient astronauts who came to Earth long before recorded history? Science has yet to fully explore Antarctica's deepest secrets. Radar scans, satellite imagery, and eyewitness reports suggest there's far more beneath the ice than just frozen rock. There could be temples, pyramids, artifacts, and even biological remains waiting to be discovered. Linda Moulton Howe's interviews with whistleblowers like Spartan 1 paint a picture of secret missions to underground structures where hieroglyphics and technology unlike anything known on Earth have been found. These bases could be thousands of years old and possibly still inhabited or maintained by extraterrestrial beings. Meanwhile, satellite images show strange, large openings in Antarctic mountain ranges, perfectly shaped to fit unknown crafts. Some internet researchers claim to have located crash sites of extraterrestrial vehicles, complete with skid marks and disturbed ice. The infamous Oumuamua asteroid, detected in 2017, was unlike any natural object seen before. Its shape and behavior led some scientists to suggest it might be an alien probe, paralleling the strange crafts spotted in Antarctica. All these threads point to one conclusion. Antarctica is a hotspot for ancient and modern extraterrestrial activity. But the question remains, why the secrecy? Why is the world's most isolated continent shrouded in silence and mystery? Governments likely want to keep this under wraps for many reasons: military strategic concerns, the potential for advanced alien technology, and the possible upheaval of established history and religion all play a role. If the truth about Antarctica's alien bases, ancient civilizations, and otherworldly visitors were widely known, it would change everything we believe about our past and our place in the universe. Richard Byrd's experience, the whistleblowers' testimonies, the ancient texts, and the latest satellite images collectively suggest that we are on the brink of a monumental revelation. In the coming years, as ice continues to melt and technology advances, Antarctica's secrets may no longer remain hidden. When that day comes, humanity may finally confront its true origins and the reality of beings from beyond our world living beneath the ice. As we wrap up our journey through the mysteries of Antarctica, let's reflect on the bigger picture. Antarctica is unlike anywhere else on Earth, a frozen continent that holds secrets beneath miles of ice, secrets that could rewrite history. We've heard stories of Admiral Richard Byrd's secret diary, describing his flight into a hidden world beneath the South Pole, a lush, temperate realm inhabited by advanced beings warning humanity about nuclear destruction. We've heard from whistleblowers like Brian and Spartan 1, revealing encounters with strange structures, unknown crafts, and unexplained phenomena under the ice. Satellite images show massive, intelligent-looking entrances carved into mountain ranges, along with possible extraterrestrial crash sites. Ancient astronaut theorists point to pyramid-like structures buried in the ice, possible remnants of a civilization older than Egypt's, potentially linked to a global pyramid power grid. Ancient myths from all over the world speak of floods, cataclysms, gods descending from the sky, and lost continents. Could these stories be fragmented memories of an advanced civilization buried beneath Antarctica's ice? Plato's Atlantis, the Edfu texts, the Epic of Gilgamesh, they all hint at a world before our recorded history, a world destroyed and hidden away. Science is still catching up. NASA's data shows ice both melting and growing in different parts of the continent. Could this be evidence of underground activity generating heat? Is Antarctica's ice sheet hiding not just ancient ruins, but living, active bases operated by extraterrestrials? As technology improves, satellite imagery becomes more detailed, and brave whistleblowers speak out. The veil over Antarctica's secrets is lifting. The implications are profound. We may have to rethink human history, ancient civilizations, and our place in the cosmos. We could soon face undeniable evidence that we are not alone, that beings from other worlds have shaped our past and are watching over us today. The question is, are we ready for that truth? Thank you for joining this exploration into the mysteries beneath Antarctica's ice. Stay curious, keep questioning, and keep exploring.